Hey guys, this is Matt. Welcome to the Sin Bin. So you might realize I'm in a different environment. I was actually on the road when Jake Ling broke the news to me that Kovalchuk just got signed by the Canadiens. So I thought it was pretty big news. I wanted to put up my initial reaction, so that explains why I'm in a different environment today. So my quick thoughts, my very quick thoughts. Obviously, Marc Bergevin's been very active these past few days. He traded away Mike Riley basically for a bag of pucks. 5th round pick and this other guy, Andy Stotz, whatever he's called. But the Canadiens also acquired Marco Scandella. I don't think that's a bad trade at all, especially what they're getting in Scandella. Now, he puts his hand on Kovalchuk. I think he just signed him for $700K, something like that. It's not even $1 million. It's a very low risk, high reward type of move. So you should be expecting me to be happy, right? You should be expecting me to be over the moon. I mean, we got Kovalchuk. If he bounces back and the price we're paying him, this could be a great deal. Well, the reason why I'm a little bit confused is because these moves that Bergevin's been doing, the Scandellas, the Kovalchuk, it seems like the type of move one would do if they're making a push to have a serious run in the playoffs. If they're making a push for the Stanley Cup. You know, you add those few extra pieces, those veterans, that left-handed defenseman, and there you go. The Canadiens, on the other hand, they're not really making a push for the Stanley Cup. I don't even know if they're making a push for the playoffs. I know the word tank, it's been kind of taboo these past few days. But I really believe if one were to win in this league, tanking is kind of necessary. I always bring up the example of the Maple Leafs. I mean, they got Austin Matthews. They couldn't have got him if it weren't for tanking. They got Nazem Kadri. They couldn't have got him if they got a really bad season. They got Nylander, Marner, the list goes on and on and on. And right now, the Maple Leafs, ever since they fired Bathcock, and yes, I will keep calling him Bathcock, they're the hottest team in the National Hockey League. I think there's something like 14-3. I mean, they're very hot, so I'm kind of I kind of want the Canadiens to follow that same model, to sort of have a really bad year. Maybe you don't get Lafreniere, okay? Maybe you miss out on the lottery. But you'll get still a really, really good player at the second or third position. Getting Kovalchuk, getting Scandella, that prevents the Canadiens from tanking. And the Canadiens' playoff spot isn't guaranteed either making those moves. So what happens? The Canadiens aren't bad enough to tank, and they're not good enough to make it to the playoffs. Or maybe. We never know. They might turn it around, in which case I'll be very happy. But the last thing I want them to do is pick 15th again, because if they pick 15th, the quality of player goes down very drastically than if you were to pick, first or second or third or anything like that. I know they got Cole Caulfield. That was kind of a miracle that he dropped so low. I think Cole Caulfield is a great player. He's not having a great tournament, but I'm going to make another video on that. But those were my quick thoughts. I know I didn't really talk about Kovalchuk more. He's not an exceptional skater. I think I'm not breaking any news when I say that. He can't match up with the high-speed players in the league today. The McDavids, the Goudreaus. He doesn't have the foot speed. But that being said, he does have something that cannot be taken away from him. And it's that shot. It's that scoring... sorry, my voice cracked. It's that scoring ability that Kovalchuk has. I remember when I first started watching hockey, he was with the Atlanta Thrashers. He was one of the most dynamic players, and I'll go on a limb here. I think he may have been the best player in the NHL at that point. That's how good he is. That's how dangerous he was. I mean, he was in all of the commercials. And when he eventually left to go play in the KHL, I mean, that was some big news right there. So I think that if Kovalchuk, if he could use his brains, again, an example I always use, Andrei Markov, a fellow Russian, he wasn't an exceptional skater, but he managed to go through on a day-to-day basis in the NHL because he had the brains, he had the IQ to make up for the foot speed that maybe wasn't there. If he could do that in Montreal Kovalchuk, then yeah, it's a very good signing. It's a very good move. Like I said, low risk, high reward. You're barely paying anything for this player. And we all know about the Canadiens' cap space this season. So low risk, high reward. It's just, like I said, doing moves like this and doing moves like Scandella, Marc Bergevin has to make the playoffs now, in my mind. because getting those two players, it's preventing you from tanking, so to speak, properly. And again, very taboo term, but I really believe if you are going to win, God, that fucker is ugly. There's this guy with tattoos all over his face. If you're going to win in this NHL, you have to get the proper players through the draft or through free agency, but we know free agents won't come to Montreal. So those were my quick thoughts. What do you guys think? Do you think the Kovalchuk move was a good decision? Do you think he's going to bring fruit to the Canadiens? Or do you sort of think like me where the Canadiens need to either go for the cup or go for the last place? For me, there's no in between, because if you stay in between, you don't win. It's clear and simple. You just don't win. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Sort of mixed on this one. So as per usual, make sure to like this video. We're going to talk about it more in depth tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live. If you want to hear more of our thoughts, we're going to talk about Kovalchuk. Jake Link will talk about Kovalchuk because he's known about him. He played on his favorite team, so he'll know a lot more about him. Make sure to stay tuned Friday, today, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Sin Bin Hockey Podcast. As per usual, my name is Matt, signing off. Keep your stick on the ice. Why does my phone keep falling?